श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। प्रतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयम् करुणालयम् मामि भगवत्पादम् शङ्करम् लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करम् शङ्कराचार्यम् केशवम् बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। गुकारस्वन्धकारो वैरुकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयामदेवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्ट्वागुंसस्तनूभिः विषेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यः प्रज्ञानां शुप्रतानैः स्थिरचरनिकरव्यापिभिर्व्याप्य लोकान् भुक्त्वा भोगान् स्तविष्टान् पुनरपि धिषणोद्भासितां कानजन्यान् पीत्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् स्वपिति मधुरभुङ्मायया भोजयन्नः मायासङ्ख्यातुरीयं परम् अमृतमजं ब्रह्म यत्तन्नतोऽस्मि। स एष नेति नेतीति व्याख्यातं निह्नुते यतः सर्वमग्राह्य भावेन हेतुनाजं प्रकाशते। The Srishti is being looked at because the moksha is possible only when there is no samsaritvam. Within samsaritvam, there cannot be shanti. Therefore, samsaritva has to be looked at. Is it really there? If there is samsaritvam and the jiva is truly a samsari, then there is anirmoksha prasanga. Hence, in line with the Shastra's Vakyas, we need to look at what is the truth of the Srishta Jagat and the status of Jiva as a samsari. And in this context, the whole Srishti is being looked at to understand whether there is a real Srishti or there is only an as though Srishti. Because within Srishti is the Jivatma. We already saw that the whole Srishti Prakriya is used only as an upaya. That is what is again being spoken about in this verse. Through the Neti Neti Brihadannika Upanishad Vakyas, Naiti Naiti, Naidam Naidam. Neti Neti iti Vyakyatam Ninhute Shrutihi. So whatever is Murta Murta Rupena Jagadasti iti Vyakyatam, Dve Vava Ityadina Vyakyatam Murta Murtadi Sarvameva Kyajyam Agrahyam Neti Neti iti Vipsaya. The Tikakara says. Vipsa means saying two times. Neti Neti. Naidam Naidam iti. Nishedati Srutihi. Sa yeshaha iti upakramya pratipaditasya. Saha yeshaha eva. Because it is aparoksha atma. This atma surupa is not something which is paroksham or even pratyaksham, but it is nitya aparoksham. It is all the time available as self-evident. It is seen as the subject. But if there is no object, where is it? Where is the subject? There is no subject object. In the absence of subject object, the subject is not a subject. It is only the content of the subject. So this neti neti is negating whatever is an attribute. Therefore, it first makes everything as the attribute of Atma by doing a superimposition. We saw in the last session. Adhyasa. Adhyaropa apavadabhyam nishprapancham brahma prapanchiyate. The nishprapancham brahma becomes evident because it is self-evident. All you need to do is just remove all the superimpositions. So that is this neti neti. And it has to go till the avadi, till the end. You have to keep on negating anything which is objectified, which is an object. So keep eliminating all the object. That means you are eliminating the subject-object duality, the triputi, grahya, grahaka, grahana, all the three, jnatri, jnaya, jnanam. This is all triputi. Mana, matru, meyam, pramana, pramatru, prameya. Whenever you say that I know something, there is a triputi already there. There is a known object, there is a knower, and the process of knowledge. That is why even Kenopanishad also, that Vakya, the one who says knows, doesn't know, because the know, when the moment you say I know, that means there is a knower known knowledge triputi which is there. The one who says who doesn't know also doesn't know. So I know Atma, if you say, then this Atma is as though you have objectified, because any knowledge, we presuppose that there is a subject-object duality. So when I say I know Brahman, the Brahman is as though an object of knowledge, and I am the knower of Brahman. But that kind of a knowledge is not the right knowledge. So you cannot say I know Brahman, nor you can say you can say I don't know Brahman if because you don't know. But if you say I know Brahman as a subject object, then also you are actually not knowing. But just if you say I know as your content of what you are, that is the person who has the knowledge, because it is a way to reveal what it is. I know is the person, is the content, that's all. But I know this is not a Brahmajna. That this is the cognition is where the problem. Okay. That is why Shastra says, when you say you know it as an object, then you don't know really. Atata adeshaha neti neti. So wherever there is an objectification, that is negated. First, it superimposes everything as its own adhyaropa. It is an attribute of you, the samashtitvam, because all that is here is illuminated by what? Your surupa only. Therefore, all these become your attribute as a samashti. But then, if you look at all the attributes themselves are not real. The content of the attribute is your surupa. And that is available as Swayam Prakasha. Prakashate Swayameva. Sarva Vishesha Pratishedena, all the attributes, the Vishesha. First you see it as things separate from you. In the normal world, you see everything as separate from you. Then Shastra comes and shows that no, there is one Samashti. If there is one Samashti, that means you are part of it. In fact, all the things are your own attributes because they are non-separate from you. That superimposition is done, but that is called Adhyaropa. That is the whole Srishtivada. It all came from the same thing and you are part of it. If you actually see, there is nothing becomes something else. Okay, things stay the same. There is no, even this body. What is this body? This body is nothing but the same five elements which are there in the form of this universe. Nothing more, nothing less. Isn't it? The food you eat, which comprises of, solids, liquids, gases, heat, and the space. This is what is this body. What else is in this? The same Panchabhuta which was there in the earth, which has become you. There's nothing else which is there. Either your parents, had assimilated the essence of the food from which some part of you started, and then your consumed food digested made you actually become bigger. That's what it is. So there is no, you can say I was born, but this birth also is just a change of what is there as food outside. That is all this is. And anything else around you also, if you say, they are all no birth, it's only a parinama. So the entropy is a constant kind of thing. So things remain. It's only like reformed stuff. Therefore, there is no, truly, if you look at it, there is no utpatti. Everything is only a modification. Anyway, so sarva vishesha pratishedena अतात आदेशः नेति नेति इति प्रतिपादितस्य आत्मनः दुर्बोधत्वं मन्यमाना श्रुतिः पुनः पुनः उपायान्तरत्वेन तस्य एव प्रतिपादयिषया यद् यद् व्याख्यातं तत् सर्वं निह्नुते. It has to negate everything. It has to keep on going until the avadhi. There is nothing else to negate. Till then, it has to keep on negating. You are not this attribute, this until you think until you recognize that it is free of all attributes. Anything which is there as an attribute is punah punah prativipadishaya yadyat vyakyatam sarvam nihnute. Whatever it's superimposed on you as attribute, it negates all of them. It has to go all the way to the avadhi, which is your swarupa. Avadhi means boundary. Grahyam janimad buddhi vishayam apalapati अर्थात् स एष नेति नेति एषः न सः एषः न इति आत्मनः अदृश्यतां दर्शयन्ति श्रुतिः. अदृश्यता. So it is not, there is no drishyam, drik, darshana. Same, there is no triputi. So it is the content of drashta. The content of drashta. Because in the absence of drishya vastu, there is no drashta also. Only with reference to something seen, there is a seer. When there is no, the entire seeing as a process itself is negated. Neither is there the seen nor the seer. Okay. So you can't say, I am the witness perception and all that. Then what is being witnessed? What is the reality of it? Okay. So all that is superimposed mithya only. Both the seer and the seen. Therefore, grahyam janimad buddhi vishayam apalapati. The grahyam, the what is being seen is negated means the seer is also being negated. Negated in the sense they don't have their own independent existence, and that is shown by the Shruti, and that is also you are able to analyze through yuktya, because everything, there is a dependence. There is a dependence on the chinmatra. Without a chetana vastu illuminating, where is the jagat? And every part of what is being seen, objectified, is pervaded by the swarupa. Therefore, there is a pramana as well as the yukti which goes with it, which can make you recognize the swarupa. Sayeshaha neti neti iti atmanaha adrishyatam darshayanti shruti. Adrishyatvam is there in Atma. It is not the thing which is, therefore there is no Srishti. It is not, none of the objectified is your Swarupa. In fact, they are, you are not, your Swarupa is not that, but they are your Swarupa. So that's how we see it. Then what is seen is recognized as just a superimposition. It's only an as though seen. Like in darkness or semi-illumination, you see things which is a product of the darkness itself. It is not the quality of the object which is there. It is the nature of darkness. We are just seeing the similar discussion in Bhagavad Gita. It is the darkness, tamas alone is creating the sight that there is there is a snake, or there is a man standing in the place. You are seeing a man in the place of a stanu, a log of wood. So what is creating that man? It is the darkness itself. Similarly here, the jiva itself is created, set up by the ignorance only. Upayasya upeya nishtatam ajanataha upayatvena vyakyatasya upeyavat grahyata mabhut iti agrahya bhavena hetuna karanena ninhute ityartah. Upayasya, the upaya, we already saw this in detail in the last session. Upaya, people may take it as upaya. It is only a means to know. Therefore, the Srishti is just a methodology to show the Vastu. So there is no Tatparya in Srishti. That is why there are many Srishtivadas. Each one is just to show that there is a Samashtitvam. Everything is Panchikarita, Panchabhutaihi Kritam, or Trivikrita Bhuta Bhutajanya Vastu. That is what is the whole Jagat. It shows in many different ways. Or Akashad Vayuhu Vayor Agnihi. Iti also the Prakriya is shown. There is also this Avastha Traya which is being taken up by Mandukya. All of them. Here also Veshti Samashti. The Vishwa and Virat. Okay, Taijasa and Hiranyagarbha. Prajna and Ishvara. That Veshti Samashti also is spoken about. Therefore, there also the whole Prakriya is to show that there is one integrated Samashti. And we just spoke about entropy, and even science agrees with this fact that all that is here is one mass, one collective. Upayasya, therefore the whole Srishti is only to show there is a collective, and when it is a collective, that means they are only attributes of one cognizing entity. And why are you saying there is only one? Because there is only one source of consciousness. There is no second source. When you have to say conscious, it has to be only you. There is no other source of conscious. What you objectify, consciousness is never objectified. What is objectified are only attributes. Some other living entity moving, you are able to cognize. But that the consciousness itself, the Chaitanyam itself is not available for objectification. And every objectification is pervaded by consciousness. Therefore, there is only one source, and that becomes the subject, and everything else is an object of it. But because it is non-separate, it becomes an attribute. They all become an attribute of this consciousness. That is what is shown by this Srishti Prakriya. That is a upaya. And the people then, without understanding it's an upaya, they think it is a upeya. It is what is the intent of Shruti is to show how the Srishti took place. And that already Bhashyakara dismissed. There is no purpose of Shruti talking about a real Srishti because it is of no use. There is no benefit. In fact, it only reinforces samsara. reinforcing a samsara, there is no benefit of it for Shruti to do it. Okay. Therefore, Srishti Prakriya is only an upaya. If it is upaya, then there is a possibility upayavat grāhyata ma bhūt iti agrāhya bhavena hetuna karanena nihnute. It itself negates it. Tatascha evam upayasya upayanishtatāmeva janatah upayasya cha nitya ekarupatvam iti tasya sabāhyābhyantara ajam atmatattvam prakāshate swayameva. So Shruti uses this sabāhyābhyantara. Bhashyakar also says sabāhyābhyantara because the whole problem is because of drawing this line, me and not non-me. The abhyantaram is me, what is within me, like my body, my mind, my blah blah blah. And then the bhahyam is everything other than me. We have already seen dovhi padartho atma anatmano. Atma means the I sense, which includes your body, mind, senses, everything. And anatmano, everything other than this. So the bhahyam is the anatma. Abhyantaram means your atma. Atma, I am not talking about pratyagatma or paramatma. The atma is just means I. The I sense wherever it is. So the sabahya, so it is all only from a standpoint. From standpoint of this body, mind, sense complex, I say something is outside, there is something inside. But actually both outside and inside are known to the same awareness. Which means what is as seen as outside and what is seen as inside are both cognized at the same time. You don't individually cognize. When you see yourself as individual, you are also at the same time seeing the non-me also, which is in the form of either the samashti or things around you. So things around you and that you are both known to you. Sabahya abhyantaram. So the bahyam and abhyantaram are both available to the cognition. That is the whole jagat. Your whole experience is abhyantaram and bahyam. But it is seen as bahyam and abhyantaram. That is where the problem is. There are separate bahya vastu and me, the abhyantara. This is my mind, my body, my whatever. Okay, that cognition is where the problem is. Therefore, it is to be recognized as sabahya abhyantaram. That is samashti. The moment you say sabahya abhyantaram, it means samashti. But at the same time, it is ajam. It is unborn. If it is unborn, that means it is not even undergoing any change. Change is also birth. So therefore, only a as though change. Atmatattvam prakashate swayameva. And this, because it is neither bahyam nor abhyantaram, it is not a object of knowledge, as in with the Triputi. It just swayam prakashate. You don't need to objectify it. In fact, it is not available for objectification, nor it never goes away also. It is all the time there, and it alone is there because it is swayam prakashatma. What is there? Why do you even need something to reveal it? It is self-revealing because that what is revealing is why everything is known. And that which because of whose revelations the whole experience is going on. That Swarupa Swayam eva prakashate. In fact, nothing else Swayam prakashate. Atma alone Swayam prakashate. Everything else Atmana eva prakashate. Including I am this body or this is non-me. Sabahya abhyantaram Atma tattvam. Because of which all this me and non-me are illuminated. That is self-revealing. In fact, that alone is Swayameva prakashate. Okay. Sato hi mayaya janma yujyate natu tattvatah tattvato jayate yasya jatam tasya hi jayate. Sataha hi mayaya janma yujyate. The question is, what is born? From which all this is born, you are saying, Yatova imani bhutani jayante, that from which everything is born, yena jatani jivanti, by which everything is sustained, yat prayanti abhisham vishanti, unto which everything goes back. Now somebody will ask this question, why can't we say, Yatova imani bhutani jayante, from that which all this is born, means some Ishvara who is sitting in heaven, all this is born. Okay, that person, Bhagavan, created the whole Jagat. So that means from which it is born. Also, it has come from that Bhagavan, maybe from his or her own body. The whole Jagat is created. Okay, it has undergone this change and has become this world. That is what most of them, Dvaiti, Visishta, Dvaiti, everybody says. Okay, some Amsha of Brahman has become this Jagat. Not only that, Yena Jatani Jivanti. So by the Agnya, Narayanasya Agnyaya, by the fear and the grace and by the activity of that Lord. So the Nimitta Karana. So Yatova Imani is Upadana Karana, and that is material cause. And then Nimitta Karana, by which everything is sustained. That Narayana sitting somewhere is one who is making this whole world operate. Why can't we take it like that? But the third one, Yat Prayanti Abhisham Vishanti, all that is created goes back. So now how does that happen? Like a pot maker doesn't resolve the broken pot back into himself. So then is it material or nimitta or both? If it is both also, then is it superimposed creation? Because the resolving back is a problem for them. Okay, how does it resolve? Then they have to say some pralaya comes and he destroys all that. But where do they go back? They don't go back to the same Ishvara, no? If you have modified it, so then you have to say you became the Jagat and take it back, resolve it back. Then it becomes Advaitam only. Anyway, Satohi Mayaya Janma Yujyate Natu Tatpataha. The creation can be only from Sat, not Asat. This is where now the Buddhist aspect. See, there is a Satkaryavada, Asatkaryavada, and all that. There are many different types of Vadas which are there, assuming that the Srishti is. And then Srishti, is it from something which was there, which has modified itself into the Srishti, or non-existent underneath and the Srishti has happened, like the Buddhists say. For Buddhists, mind alone is the cause. The Kshanika Vijnani. For them, they say, when mind is there, the world is there. When the mind is not there, there is no world. Therefore, the mind alone is the cause. You don't need anything more. There is no underneath Brahman, is what they say. So it is as though from non-existent an existent world is born. Okay, so that also is now discussed in this and the next verse. Sataha hi mayaya janma yujyate. Natu tattvataha. Sataha janma yujyate mayaya eva. Natu tattvataha. Tattvataha yasya jayate. For the ones, Siddhantis, to whom the Srishti is really born, the Jagat is really born, Tattvataha jayate. Jatam tasya hi jayate. So for them, jayate jatam. The one which is born, okay, is again born. Now that is a infinite regression. Is the unborn which is born, or the born is born? If the born is born, then how is that born born? Now we need to have another cause which is also is a jatam. Okay, something, for example, okay, think of it like that. A hen gives birth to an egg, and then egg again becomes a chicken. So this is like jatasya jatam. Okay, in one way, It's a two-step birth. Now, egg itself is something which is born, and then from it a chicken is born, and from the chicken, which is hen, again there is a birth. So it goes on and on and on. So the question is typically asked now is egg born first or hen born first? Okay, what is born? So it goes into an infinite regress. Therefore, anavastha is a dosha. We don't agree that a reality can be. That means it is only a temporary change. It is not the permanent. If it is permanent, then it cannot get into an infinite regress. Similarly, tattvataha jayate asya jatam tasya jayate. The other problem is what if from a void, nothing, something is born. So if without any cause, nothing can be born. Okay, because again that is also illogical. There has to be a aspadam. So he's going to talk about it. Evam hi shruti vakya shataihi sabakya abhyantaram ajam atmadattvam advayam न ततः अन्यदस्ति इति निश्चितम् एतत् युक्त्या च अधुना एतदेव पुनः निर्धार्यते इति आह एवं हि like this shruti vakya shataihi, because if you remember there were many shruti vakyas which were quoted. Neti neti is from Brihadaranyaka. Before that Sambhuti Apavada was spoken about from Ishavasya. Okay, before that Neha Nana Stiti. Okay, Kinchana iti Kathopanishad and Indro Maya Bihi iti. There are all these are what Shruti Vakyas, and Shruti Vakyas were used to show that the whole Srishti is only used to reveal the Swarupa of the Vastu. Evam, therefore he here concludes, because now the Karikakara is now moving on from all this different quotation, is basically summarizing. Therefore Bhashyakara also introduces this verse saying Evam hi Shrutivakya Sataihi, by hundreds of Shrutivakyas. What is shown? Sabakya Abhyantaram Ajam Atmadattvam Advayam. The Atmadattva is revealed as what? Sabakya Abhyantaram. It is the Samashti. It is a Samashti without attributes. The moment you say Samashti, we look at only attributes. Now the attributes are dependent on Atma. First is bring everything together, then negate the attributes, and what remains is only Prajnapti Matra Swarupa. And it is unborn, because the birth is only when there are attributes. And even there, birth is only about change. Nothing is newly created anyway. There is nothing called a new creation. Everything is only a modification. And Atma Vastu, being without attributes, it doesn't lend itself to modification. Modification means you need to have a set of attributes. It looked like this, now it is like this. It was small, now it is big. It was black in color, now it is blue in color. It was hot earlier, it is now cold. This is what is being perceived. Then only you can say there is a change. A change means different state of attributes have to be perceived by you. And in time, okay, and in space. There is no time, there is no space, there are no attributes for Brahma. It is Prajnapti Matram. So where is the question of change? So when there is no change, it is Ajam. Sabhakyabhyantaram Ajam. Atmatattvam. It is the content of I. It is never Anatma. Anatma is it, but it is never Anatma. It is Nityaparoksham Brahma. Atmatattvam Advayam. There is no second. Okay. Again, like I said, second means there should be attribute, spatial limitation. All these have to be there. Na tataha anyadasti iti nishchitam. So there is no second. The second means, like they said, when you have to say second, it should be there without it being eliminated by Atmavastu. There is nothing which is not eliminated by Atmavastu. Therefore, there is no second. Iti nishchitam, by many Shruti Vakyas. We are using Yukti to show, but Shruti also explicitly has said Atmatattvamev advayam nanyadasti iti Shruti Vakya Shataihi Nishchitam. It is very clearly established. It's not like one sentence here, one sentence there. Like we don't cling on to just, just Purusha Suktam. Okay. And Purusha Suktam also is Advaitam only. But you can interpret some parts of it. Padavasya Vishwabhutani Tripadasya Amritam Divi. Like that, there are statements. Then you can say Bhagavan is Kalyana Guna Sampannaha. He is like Naittam. Neti Neti, they'll say Naittam, Naittam. It's not in this form. He is like much bigger. Tripadasya Amritam Divi. He is like in Vaikunta. His biggest glory is in Vaikunta. Only some part of his glory is manifest as this world. Agne Vishpulanganiva. Like it is the only spark is there. But you have to really see the Kalyana Guna, then you have to go there. Like that and all they interpret. But then only certain Vakyas will help them with that. Rest you have to twist them. Whereas if you do Samanvaya of all these Vakyas, Stuti Vakya Shataihi, everywhere there is this Sabhahyabhyantaram Ajam Atmatattvam. If you reconcile everything, Shruti Vakyas, there are hundreds of them. Indro Mayabhi Pururupa Iyate. Ajayamanaha Bahuda Vijayate. Okay, Ajayamanaha, I said, I think in one of the session, that which need not be born is how they interpret. Okay, you don't have to be born in order to reveal your glory or something like that. Anyway, so the Shruti Vakya Sataihi, by so many Shruti Vakyas, it is very clearly established. Now, Yuktya Aduna Eva Punar Nirdharyate. From by Yukti also, it is here established. What is they saying? The infinite regression is going to talk about. Okay, if it is born from that which is born, then there is Anavastha Dosha. That is a Yukti. Okay, so just to show that something which has an attribute, is that something also one of attribute or non-attributing? So if that also is an attributed thing, then what does that attributes it on? Again, it goes into infinite regress. Therefore, an attributeless thing only can have an attribute. But an attributeless thing, how can it have attribute? Then what is the connection between the attributeless thing and the attribute? Then you have to bring Samvaya Sambandha, which is only a concoction. There is no such Sambandha. Therefore, the only relationship possible is Adhyasika Sambandha. Superimposition is the only. But it is very simple logic. The infinite regress is a very simple logic because the connection between Chaitanyam and the attribute cannot be a real connection. It can be only superimposed connection. And Chaitanyam and the Achetana Vastu cannot be separated also. Because every time you see an Achetana Vastu, there is Chaitanyam in it. But the Chaitanyam and Achaitanyam is not an attribute of Chaitanyam actually, technically, nor is it connected by some other means. Therefore, it is only Adhyastham. Tatra etat syat sada agrahyameva ched asadevatmatatvamiti. Then Bhashikara actually introduces this. Sataha hi janma. Why can't you say the asad janma sada agrahyameva ched? If you can't, there is no grahana. If you are not able to objectify agrahyam, if this Sadbrahma, you are saying you can't objectify it. It is not available for objectification. You can't show me that this is Brahman. You people keep on talking the same thing, churning Vakyas after Vakyas. Somebody told me in the camp, one of my friends who attended, he told me, you guys keep saying the same thing by its different ways, exact same thing. All that is here is one Brahma, nothing else. That's the only Vakya. Vedasya Ekavakyata, they say, no? It is only one sentence. And Guma Guma ke, he said, that Hindi friend, he said, Guma Guma ke wahi baat karte hain aap log. So, like, you are spinning the same thing in multiple ways, which is actually true. See, Shruti also, same thing only it has to reveal. There is no like 10 different truths, right? See, all the detailing is not the intent. Maya has lakhs of different things, right? And there is no limit. Even to understand what is there in this earth, I think our life is not enough. And any one area of knowledge itself, how does ear function? How do the eyes see? Okay, that itself it goes on, and they are still conducting research after research and publishing papers after papers. Now each field of knowledge is itself is infinite. Now like that within this universe, this earth itself, there are so many things. Now the detailing, if you go outside of this, we don't even know how many planets are there, how many stars are there, and what is there in all those. And any knowledge, again, one life is not enough. Many lives are also because these are all infinite. So the Maya, you can't go and grasp anything. Okay, it will go on and on and on, and that is not the and so there is no focus on that by Shastra, because it is anyway of no use. What are you going to achieve in your life trying to understand the whole, which you won't, if you spend all your life, you won't even understand infinitesimal percentage of knowledge which is available. Okay, and so there is no you know um, use of that. Okay? I mean, there is a limited use. I wouldn't say there is no use of it. It is more within the samsara what needs to be achieved. So the only thing Shruti here is trying to do is to liberate, to free. And to liberate, all you need to understand is all that is here is you, and which is Brahman. And that until you recognize that, the same thing needs to be taught. So that only one thing it's trying to teach. And it can be said in that one line. No, since we are not in a position to fully see, Shruti also keeps approaching it from different angles. That is the prakriya. Something will click for somebody, something will click for somebody else, and jointly also, if you keep on listening it from many angles, then your jnanam also becomes rooted. And there are also a lot of doubts also which go away. And this is the learning itself is a joy. It's the same thing. Who will not like talking about the infinite of your own Swarupa? So we keep coming back. The person who is teaching and person who is listening are both enjoying this, because it is their own Swarupa which is spoken about. This is not some what is there in Jupiter that we are talking about, right? Not of thing which is only a general knowledge. So this is about your own Swarupa, and which is Advayam Brahma Shantam Shivam Yagatma Pratyaya Saram and all that. So it is your own Swarupa which is spoken about. And it is like a meditation. Meditation means you have to keep coming back to the same thing. And the less and less you are, getting into the non-you, you are having a peace, Shanti. Therefore, the Shastra, it is the same thing only which is spoken through different angles. There is nothing, you can't expect to have something very different. Some people like this Mimamsa Grantha and all that, and all these logical arguments. See, only to the extent that it can reveal your Swarupa, it is good to go through all this logical arguments and all that. Otherwise, it is also another, distraction. I have seen people who come to study Vedanta for Atma Jnanam, and then they get so absorbed into like Vyakarana Shastra, Tarka, Nyaya, and then get into those kind of, again, mental jugglery, okay, gymnastics. I mean, to the extent that they are useful for you to understand Shastra, you need to learn all that. I'm not saying we shouldn't, but the problem is it just takes you away. So you have to come back to Atmavastu. Therefore, the whole Shastra keeps bringing you back, and you just keep listening to this Atma Vichara, and that itself is. So, this one question is asked to Adi Shankara in that in Shankara Vijaya, right? There is one place where he goes and stays. Just like Yaksha Prashna in Mahabharata, there is one story, when he is lying down in a cot. So some Yaksha kind of thing, it comes and asks some questions, okay, to Shankaracharya. What is it called? Prashnottara Ratnamalika or something. So he answers. In that, one question is, what is the purpose of life? And the answer given by Shankara is, doing this vichara itself is the purpose. Okay. So just to try to see what is the purpose, then you arrive at the purpose. That's all. So that is a vichara. Atma vichara, it leads you to Atma only. No, where else it can take you. So tatra etat syat sada agrahyameva chet asadeva Atma. Maybe there is no sadatma. Okay, because it is not available. If it is not available to objectify, and Shastra is not able to show that this is what is Atma, just look at it. Okay, you are not able to show that. No? So that is where I just went into a tangent on Guma Guma ke thing. Okay, so you guys are saying a lot of things, but clearly not showing, okay, this is what is Atma. Okay, and that this is what is the problem. Okay, the moment you say this is what, then that means there is an overknown knowledge triputi, and that this, the word this, the connotation is something that is known to you as a discognition. Therefore, you cannot it, because it is self-evident. You only thing Shastra has to do is, it is none of the this. That's all it has to do. And since once your mind takes away all the this away, Atma is anyway there, which was actually trying to figure out what that this is. Tatra etat syat sada agrahyameva ched asadeva atmadatvam. So if you can't show what is this Atma, okay, it is agrahyam, then maybe there is no Atma. You guys are generally saying something, but there is no Atma, maybe. Okay. There is no asadeva Atma tattvam. There is no Atma tattva as it is. There is no Atma. There is nothing underneath, maybe. This is what is the question. He says, Tatna karya grahanat. How can you say that? Bhashyakar asks. Because the karyam, something, see, you are seeing something. Okay, either what you are seeing is true or it is superimposed on something else. There are only two possibilities. Okay, so either what is seen is not a karyam at all, it is real. Like the Buddhist, when they say there is no underneath, there is only shunya, that means these are only words. Means what is seen as a karya is the reality. There is no karana karya there. If the karanam is shunyam, they say shunyavada, right? Shunyavada or kshanika vijnanavada. For them, the karanam is shunyam. If the karanam is shunyam, then actually the karyam is not karyam. Karyam is just there because there is no karanatvam. Shunya is the karana, then there is no karana. Then karya becomes not a karya, but actually the is that which exists. Means there is no siddhanta, there is no something new that you are talking about. You are only just saying that there is a, all that is here is maya for them. You can't even say mithya. That maya, there is no karanam underneath. If you say, then you don't have them go and stand somewhere. Like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says, if you want a person to leave sitting on a branch of a tree, if you want that person to leave the branch, what should you ask him to do? Hold on to a higher branch. Then he will leave the lower branch easily, and you can cut it if you want to. But without showing a higher branch, you can't do anything with the lower branch because he will need something to hold on to, right? So, likewise, if everything underneath is only shunya, then the person will only cling on to the existing jagat. So the maya and all doesn't work for them. Okay. So the karya grahanam, but here the point is different. The point is karya grahanam is there. There is a world. So if it is a karyam, then there has to be a karanam. You can't say There is no karanam at all when you say it is a karya. If it is a karya. Okay. So karya grahanat na asat. Non-existence is of something is not establishable. I mean, everything as everything as their source in the non-existence is not establishable. It is beyond the common knowledge. Yata sataha mayaminaha mayaya janma karyam evam jagataha janma karyam grihyamanam mayavina mayavinamiva paramartha santam atmanam jagat janma maya aspadameva gamayati. Aspadameva. Yata sataha mayavinah mayaya. Yata mayavinah mayaya janma karyam. The Mayavi also, the magician, creates something out of something else. He doesn't create it out of thin air. Only something is there, it is sleight of hand. He shows it as something else. He'll take a cloth, put it somewhere, and then some, sparrow will come out. Okay. Both are there only. Cloth is also there. This is also there. It is just shown as this becomes that. Obviously. Nobody can make it from a cloth. So it is all only like making you believe something by sleight of hand. Okay. Yata sataha mayavinah mayaya janma karyam. By maya only, in the sense delusionally. You are deluded, you are kept in dark with reference to some aspects of it. Therefore, you conclude whatever he wants you to conclude. Okay, that is my magic, right? Sataha mayavinah mayaya janma karyam evam jagataha janma karyam grihyamanam mayavinamiva. So it is as though like a mayavi, like a magician. Here also there is a mithya bhuta jagat. Again, like I said, the focus is not about how this world came about. This maya and all that is only to show all that is there is Brahma. Yet only because you have to account for the jagat, we are talking about all this. Otherwise, this mayavadi, these kind of places is what these people pick up and say Vedantis are mayavadis. Or Shankara is a mayavadi and all that. Evam jagataha janma karyam grihyamanam mayavinamiva paramartha santam atmanam jagat janma maya aspadameva gamayati. Atma becomes the aspada on which everything else is seen. Without an aspada, without something underneath, you can't show a magic. Okay, something has to be there. So then don't ask who is the Mayavi. So the Shruti says, Mayam tu prakritim vidyat, Mayinam tu maheshwaram. Indro Mayabihi Pururupayate. Then Bhagavan also in Bhagavad Gita says, Maya eva, I am born, Maya eva, all these things. Vashikritya, I become, all that he talks about. The word Maya is used because it is only an as-though Jagat. The non-existent Jagat is seen by you. Then it is only as though seen has to be said because that is how it is. The moment you analyze it, you can recognize that all that is there is only Brahman. Still, how I was seeing this Jagat, how I am able to transact even now, even after gaining the Jnanam, you have to say it is as though there. It doesn't have its own reality. It is a dependent reality. Therefore, only we say Mithyatvam. Mithyatvam is what we talk about, not Maya. And how does Mithyatvam come about? That will be the question. The Mithyatvam is basically the ignorance only, but still there is a pratiti of Jagat. So how does that there? Even a jnani is still able to eat food. The pratiti is there, even though the jnanam is there is nothing separate. There is nothing called food, it's all Brahma. But still he is eating, she is eating. Therefore you have to say Maya Vinamiva. Yasmat Sataha hi Vidyamanat Karanat Maya Nirmitasya Hastyadikaryas Iva Jagat Janma Yujyate Nasataha Karanat Hasti and all that. You remember that when we spoke about the magician bringing the elephant on stage, all these things is Maya Nirmita Hasti. There is no real elephant. Something else is there. Maybe a mirror is there on stage, or these days you can project it through some video laser projection as though an elephant is walking on stage. So something is there which is making you see, but it can't be done out of nothing. Either it's a light or it's a mirror or something. Yasmat sataha hi vidyamanat karanat maya nirmita hastyadi karyasya iva jagat janma yujyate nasataha karana. Therefore, asat karana cannot lead to a karya jagat. Next verse he is going to say Vandya Putraha Maya. This is a next very interesting quotation. This thing Vandya Putraha na tattvena Mayaya vapi jayate. So the non-existent Asat cannot lead. Neither is Vandya Putra exist. Okay, nor the source also exists because it is unborn. So Mayaya Tattvataha Vandya Putraha na jayate. Similarly, the non-existent Jagat, is it really born or is it Maya born? Maya and all that. It's a non-existent. Yasya punaha, where were we? Yasmat sataha hi ततः माया जन्म कार्यम एवं जगतः जन्म कार्यम गृह्यमाणं मायाविनमिव परमार्थसन्तमात्मानं जगज्जन्म माया आस्पदमेव गमयति. यस्मात् सतः हि विद्यमानात् कारणात् माया निर्मितस्य अस्त्यादिकार्यस्य इव जगज्जन्म युज्यते न सतः कारणात् न तु तत्त्वतः एव आत्मनः जन्म युज्यते. There cannot be a real birth. तत्त्वतः आत्मनः जन्म न युज्यते. Why? Because it's ajayamanah. So there cannot be real birth. अथवा सतः विद्यमानस्य वस्तुनः रज्ज्वादेः सर्पादिवत् मायया जन्म युज्यते न तु तत्त्वतः यथा तथा अग्राहस्यापि सतः एव आत्मनः रज्जुसर्पवत् जगद्रूपेण मायया जन्म युज्यते. Therefore, the only possibility is Mayaya. Why only possibility is Mayaya? Sataha vidyamanasya vastunaha Rajwadehe Sarpadivat Mayaya Janma Yujyate. There is no real birth of snake from a rope. Okay. Mayaya, there is no real Sarpa which is born. Natu Tattvataha, nor okay, Mayaya na Yujyate, na Tattvataha Janma Yujyate. तथा अग्राहिस्यापि सतः एव आत्मनः रज्जु सर्पवत् जगद्रूपेण मायया जन्म युज्यते. So that there is no janma. That's what that is ajatiwada. न तु तत्त्वतः एव अजस्य आत्मनः जन्म यस्य पुनः परमार्थसत् अजम् आत्मतत्त्वं जगद्रूपेण जायते वादिनः न हि तस्य अजं जायते इति शक्यं वक्तुं विरोधात्. ततः तस्य अर्थात् जातं जायते इति आपन्नम् ततश्च अनवस्थापातात् जायमानत्वं न तस्मात् अजम् एकमेव आत्मतत्त्वम् इति सिद्धम्. Okay, so we will see in the next session. Basically he is saying anavastha dosha will come because for those who say that the born only is born, then that, so the jatam eva jayate, that which is born, paramartha sat ajam atmatattvam jagat rupena jayate. Kim jayate? Jatam jayate. If you say that which is born, then there is an anavastha dosha, because if it is already jatam, tataha tasya arthat jatam jayate iti apannam tatascha avasthapatat jayamanatvam na. The jayamanam jagat jayate. If you say jayamanatvam, how does it get? Okay, so there is an anavastha dosha. We will see this in the next session. There's a little bit more clarity we need to bring. Okay, so and then he says asat also cannot lead to this jagat. Sat also cannot modify itself. Therefore, it is only an asdo srishti. There is no logical way to establish this srishti, because the karanam cannot change, nor it lends itself to any change. Therefore, it is only as though. The moment you say as though also, there is no real srishti. Then where is the question of needing to have a Karanatvam and all that. So all that is there is only Brahma. You have to Yuktya, you can establish, and Shruti also says the same thing. Okay. The whole analysis is to bring your attention of the Swarupa. And the moment you see the Swarupa, all this logic is just see this whole churning, like I said little earlier, is only to bring your attention to your Swarupa. Okay. So some people just get triggered of saying that, oh, this is very difficult to understand. Why we need to make so much complication and all that. That's not the point. The point is to just bring your attention to what is your Swarupa. Just to see the fact that Srishti and all is non-establishable. Then all that exists is only Brahma. Okay. Because that you is non-dismissible. The only thing which is non-dismissible is you. Everything else can be dismissed because they are all dependent. But your Swarupa is not dependent on anything else. Therefore, that is Swayam Prakasha. And once you get that is once you recognize that is moksha, then there is where is the question of moksha? You are already mukta only. That's the Shastra. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.
Dhanyawada, Guruji. Guruji, next week we have class and the Deepavali is there?
Next week is doubtful. I don't think we'll have. So maybe the week after we'll have.
Sure. Dhanyawada.